Okay, we are live.
Hockey Nation fans, welcome back to another Monday morning with your host, Coach Frenchy, and your co-host, Michael Vilardi. We are directly from the Monday morning, 11 o'clock Eastern Time. And Mike, we have a lot of game happening this weekend. Most yesterday with 11 game, a lot of trend story back and forth. And I know we have this program is going to be full with all the comments and everything like that. So we cannot wait to start and tell me more about what happening, what you think about the weekend so far.
Well, I'm glad to be back. I'm in California, but already miss you, Texas. We'll be back shortly. I think, first of all, watching the Red Wings was really painful. We know they had a bunch of players out last night, which didn't help, but at least we got to see some other players jump in the lineup. So for the Red Wings, they lost 6-2. It was not pretty. I mean, they just lacked any offensive punch, which, I guess is to be expected. They had Zadina out and a few other players. But Chicago should be a team that they're able to compete with and beat. But you can see the difference between a team that has star power and has nothing. I mean, they have no star. So you see that the other team has Patrick Kane. They at least have Alex DeBrincat, and Kubalik is real good. And they got other guys, like the guy that scored a hat trick, Pius Suter. Like, who the hell would have thought Pius Suter would score anything like a hat trick? Like, he's been a good player, but not like a super offensive player. And then you got Duncan Keith on D, and the Red Wings have nothing to compete with those types of players. Larkin works hard, is getting points, and he's trying to lead by example, but it's not there. I mean, it's just they need more talent on this team. They need more from Anthony Mantha. They can't have Robbie Fabry and Zadina out and expect to, produce offensive. Is what he is. I mean,
first of all, I think that's under all the game they play, maybe that's the worst game that Detroit played this year. Secondly, coincidence with 4 players out for COVID-19, and that brings the subject. This season going to be a roller coaster. Absolutely. About COVID-19. The NHL 20 minutes ago announced now the game again, Tampa Bay Lightning and Carolina Hurricane are postponed tomorrow and maybe possible Thursday also. So it gave you an idea, a team with our all full asset or full great players with them. Like Montreal can lose tomorrow. Carey Price, Sean Weber, and Calder, whatever they are, and it's not the same team after that. So
for sure, that. I think it affects Detroit more because they just don't have that offensive talent. They don't. I mean, you're seeing guys like Filppula and Nielsen should not be in the NHL right now. I mean, they're careless with the puck. They can't shoot. Neither one of these guys can shoot, Pierre. Like, they can't shoot. How bad is that? Like, they don't have an NHL shot at all. It's scary. So I don't know why they're legacy players. We should have just not kept them. Now, I will say what it was nice to see is Giovanni Smith get a crack, Taro Hirose get a crack, and we saw Rasmussen getting a regular shift, and he looks good. Like, keep playing these guys.
So at the end of the day, it's 2 formation right now. They are at the bottom, and the only thing they gain day after day, game after game, it's experience from those rookies or young players.
Play them.
They are NHL, and I think that's the way they are doing this right now. And I think that you you have to be patient with both teams, both at different place or area. They need to get better, like compare like goaltender versus defenseman versus forward. But again, they are to go pick a couple of new players next year for the
guys that are bad though, Pierre, are the old guys. Like Danny DeKeyser yesterday chips the puck past Rasmussen to the Russian kid Philip Kershaw, who just walks to the net. Like, he passes it past Rasmussen. They're like, oh, Rasmussen lost a spot on the boards. Yeah, because DeKeyser can't skate. And DeKeyser chips the puck past his own player to the other team.
Yeah. But again, I think
Nielsen, it's Glenn Denning and Helm I'm fine with. Those guys can still skate and play. But if you're going to put in Nielsen and Filppula and De Kaiser, these guys are done.
But again, it's like, you have to make a mix everything is going on over there. They cannot have like 20 rookies inside of, they don't bring the Grand Rapids and
Why? They're already there. They're on the taxi squad. Don't let them sit, play them.
So
they look good. The kids look good. Giovanni Smith's bigger and tougher and faster than anyone else that I mentioned.
But again, the key is to be patient with them and wait. And,
lose the
next players coming next year.
Not going to change anything.
So I think that would be.
Slider and Raymond aren't going to change anything. They need some serious star power. I don't know what's going to happen because it's not in this draft.
We'll see.
Anyways, so what do you think about Buffalo beating the Caps?
Washington play without four players. They are very, great player inside that team over there. Shootout again 4-3 for Buffalo Sabres. Rick Stahls goal score yesterday, but for me it's resume. What is helped me, not helping me, but one thing I'm grateful what I see this year since the beginning for Washington is the improvement of Tom Wilson.
He's so good.
He has everything right now that you can ask for any hockey player: powerful, strong, and also he can play hockey. So that's pretty amazing to see that. And so you have to go back.
He's a pretty special player, right? Like he just needs to, he's the target obviously of getting suspended a lot, but he's a bull in a soft game now.
Yeah.
Like it's this guy, guys like this are a little bit punished, but man, I like him. He's awesome. Just keep it clean, Tom.
Exactly. So I think Buffalo took advantage of that situation with the Washington Capitals. I did not see yet Buffalo play the level was expect from them. Dallin have a difficult year so far. He struggled for Buffalo Sabres. And again, I think they will need more from other players. Skinner, same problem he has like last year. We cannot ask him more for other players. Their cousin was on the Texas squad. They bring Missile Stat yesterday. They said they're going to do this back and forth all the time.
Between him and Cousins?
I'm sorry again?
Between Cousins and Middlestad, they're going to move him back and forth?
Yeah.
I would just replay Cousins. Like, I don't know. Maybe they should trade Middlestad.
Well, I think it's too early because many things could happen. But I think at that point, you have to be, take advantage of that 2 point, and that's what they got yesterday. And again, what's funny, I'm watching a lot of game Washington, and the last 3 games they go on OT. DJ Oshie did not score. Usually he scores.
Didn't Oshie score last night?
No, I'm talking on Shootout.
Oh.
And Shootout, he didn't score for last week. He is one of the top shooter, like 51%. But again, he did not score yesterday. Buffalo decision was funny. They sent Casey Missile that and Shootout yesterday. So it was like surprised me to see that Jack Eagle score and Shootout. He was the only scorer over there. But again, Buffalo get what he's supposed to get, and we'll see what happens for the next game. We have a lot of games to talk about. The big game
they are definitely improved. I would just say that.
For me, the big game yesterday was between Toronto and Calgary. 2 big formation. I put them 1 and 2, and that's division, North Division. And yesterday, Matthew was back in the lineup for the Toronto. He make a difference. He won the goal winner of the game at 2:42. His third of the year, and Toronto. It's. I think we win. What we need, or what I'm looking for them, is more consistency. Bad game, good game, bad game, good game, or they play one. They don't play yet the 60-minute, full 60-minute for that part over there. But again, that game yesterday was like a playoff game. If you want to watch this game, I was like, wow, that's pretty good to see that.
Yeah, if they play that way, then Toronto will be fine. But I think there's another level for Toronto. I just don't know if they'll ever hit it. Like, it's got to be a willingness to play a certain style. But I mean, the talent is there, And if I think Calgary shows that they're as good as anybody, man. They're good. That's a good team.
They are a very good team, Calgary, to be honest with you. You can see right now those two teams, they are like solid team over there. 32, 33 shots, everything like that. It was really, almost the same quality performance for both teams. Toronto play only at 3 forward, 3 lines only, and 5 4D. So it'll be and then Calgary did the same thing also with 3 lines. So you can see it's almost like a playoff game yesterday for both coaches. Everything like that.
Sure.
Nothing you can say against the performance of Markstrom or Anderson. We heard but at some point they jump on Anderson. I think it was a Kratchuk that did that. So it was another story about that one. After that, they questionable about his gesture, everything like that. But it is what it is.
For Freddie Anderson? Yeah.
So at some point, Matthew Kratchuk, he jumped on the back of deliberate. He did not do. I think at the end of the day, it was by purpose, but still, he could do better to be on Anderson. But it is what it is happening. So it was a little bit questionable about that one over there. So
yeah.
So the next game, Vegas 1, Arizona 0. I don't know. To be honest with you, I have no clue how.
We don't like the Coyotes, but they're not a bad team, man. we don't have to like them for them to be good.
I don't know. You know what I mean? Like he scored at 43 seconds remaining of the game was 0-0. And my point to you is not that the outcome of the game, but to keep Vegas with 0 all game long again, and they won. They beat them 5-2 2 days ago. You have to give credit to Rick Tocchet. I don't know what is.
I mean, that's not a bad team on paper. Like, there's very few teams, I would say, that have the goaltending that they have. Like, I don't know at what point in his career Darcy Kemper gets the respect that he deserves, and I think that they have scoring depth. I mean, you go all the way down the line. You've got Keller. You've got Garland is legit. I mean, Garland is – if you look at Garland, you watch DeBrincat, who's better? There's not much to separate those two guys, if anything. You start looking down the line, and they got players, Dvorak and Fisher, and you go down, they've got players. And we don't like Kessel, but he scores. So, I mean, I think we've got to be honest about how good that lineup is. I don't love them, but it is what it is. Last year, 6 games above 500, right?
Another point, I think, Tocchet yesterday, you have no play. Like, you just talk about Calgary and Toronto, right?
Yeah.
3 or 4 of them play under 10 minutes. You go to Phoenix, and nobody play under 10 minutes. They all play 11, 12, 13, 14. Kessel, 15 minutes yesterday. Garland, 17. Thorak, 17. And Schmalz, 17, 16. But one thing I think we need to give more credit, and they play without OEL, right?
Right.
They have a lot of good defensemen over there.
Well, this is the thing. Like, they have, and I've said this before, they have as good a D overall as anybody. Like, you go down that whole lineup. Chalmerson, Chychrun, Goligoski, Demers. Now you got Soderstrom in the mix, Jordan Osterley, and then OEL. So that, there's not one guy there you can go, that guy's terrible.
And the guy in the net is very solid too. So you know what I mean? Like, if you can score on average of 3 goals per game, the win is more 80% of every game.
Correct. Yeah.
Because they don't give a lot of goals.
Yeah, and I totally agree. I don't love the team, and I'm never going to probably love them, but I respect what is going on there. And I think that now that other teams don't have fans in the stands, everything's even. Because I think one of the things that hurts them is they don't have a lot of people in the stands all the time.
Yep.
They don't always have the emotion at home. Now it's even. Like, you don't have that factor, right? I think that it's going to be interesting. They might surprise us.
Exactly. The next game we have to go with New York Islanders versus New Jersey
Oh,
Devils.
I want to talk about this.
2-0 for the Devils. Again, the story last week was all about I can't wait to see who's going to be started week in NHL, but I'm pretty sure Jack Hughes is going to be in the top 3. That's my
that is a good point. Jack Hughes played great, and you can see he's put on weight, and he's calmed down a little bit, and he's seeing the ice better. And I wasn't sure that was going to happen, but man, if he keeps playing like this, I don't see any reason why he wouldn't. He's really figuring it out this year.
Yeah. I think the first star of the week will be Tyler Toffoli, by the way.
Maybe. He's done very well this past.
Yeah, I mean,
I want to give a shout out to the goaltender for the Devils because it wasn't Mackenzie Blackwood that got the shutout.
No, it was Wedgewood.
So I don't know if you know, I know Scott and his family from Toronto. He's a 92 birth year. So he played in that same age group that was Toffoli and Skinner and Sagan were all 92s. So he's been a guy that's just stuck it out. And one thing about Scott is he's very much like Jordan Binnington in the sense that he can steal games. And if Scott Wedgewood gets hot, he'll go on a streak. And you can see he's the type of guy where he emotionally rises to an occasion. So getting a shutout is that's the MO for Scott Wedgewood, where he's so persistent. Yeah. And he believes he can beat you. And I love seeing this because it's this is a guy that a lot of people wrote off. So maybe, I hope everything for Scott that maybe he gets a season or 2 here. And even if it's as a backup.
Barzal played 23 minutes yesterday, 4 minutes to any other player in the Islanders. One thing I have to mention to you is Bouvidi left the game. He played only 7 minutes yesterday, so we don't know the story. But he was quiet since the beginning of the year. He didn't play the level, he's not
when he's hurt.
So we'll see what happens. But the New Jersey Devils, they surprised or are 3-1-1. But I want to mention the kids there. Is it Troy Smith or
Tyler? Ty Smith is from the WHL.
Okay.
And I think I've spoken about him in the past where I said this guy is going to surprise people. I mean, he is a great offensive defenseman. He was drafted pretty high by the previous GM, and it's he's succeeded at every level he's played at, including Team Canada, including the WHL, including the AHL. And it's nice to see that he's a consistent guy with good offensive punch, and I think he's going to be one of their top 2 or 3 D.
So I don't know what happened with him, but he got another 2 assists yesterday. That's great, but he left. I don't know he left, but he played only 11 minutes.
I don't know. If you watch him, Pierre, I think you'll really like him. He's not a big guy, but he skates very well, and he sees the ice extremely well, and he can create offensive opportunity. And he can shoot the puck.
Talking about the next game, let's move on to Pittsburgh Rangers. Final score 3 Pittsburgh, 2 Rangers. Pittsburgh, I think they did not start well. They lost the 2 bold game against Washington. And since that, they won the next 4 straight. And Colin Blackwell scored first goal. Ross second goal of the year. Jake Quanzel scored his second of the year also. And they scored late again. They was trailed by 1 at the beginning of the third period. They scored 2 goals, and they won the game 3-2.
I think what you're starting to see too is Tristan Jarry settling down. He had a .930 save percentage yesterday, and I think that's more typical of what you're going to expect of him. I expect his overall numbers to rise to .915.
No, he won his last 2 games. He lost his first 2 games.
He was terrible first 2.
But you're right. I think that's a big difference right there.
Yeah, I think he'll calm down. He'll settle into the role. Casey DeSmith is a serviceable backup, but in the end, if Jarry's playing to the level he's capable of, they're going to be fine.
My concern about them right now is because they're defensemen. They lost Madison, they lost Marcus Pedersen last week. And then, they are looking for defensemen. They called Montreal Canadiens about Victor Mété. That's one thing. They called Toronto about Dermott. They're looking. They are desperate to find someone. Yesterday, it was Pierre-O Joseph and also, Ruth Weldell. So they need help over there. when you let play Cody Ceci 22 minutes, that's not maybe the best thing to do. You know what I mean?
No.
So, at short term, you can hanging there, win there, right? And then, you talk about earlier, and I want to conclude quickly here, but you talk about Chicago, Detroit, everything like that, right? Two formation with two teams, they for a couple of years, they are the bottom. They continue to be at the bottom for the next 2-3 years. They're searching. I think that's under. Yesterday, you see exactly what the Rangers are not there yet. They are not ready to be that kind of formation, the top 24, something like that. Whatsoever you mentioned, I think you mentioned this all year long for month after month. Some we start the show. Their defensemen struggle. Their defensemen, it's not. You have some things going on with D'Angelo. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the situation with Dan Quinn and them and him with the team. But, he get healthy scratch to game. He played yesterday. He played only 15 minutes. He's the second last defenseman used on the ice, where, he's supposed to be more on the ice. But that's...
They're overrating this kid. Like, he's not a bad player, but he's not a top 3. Like, he can put in offensive numbers, but he's like scary one-on-one, and he creates transition against because he takes chances, and that's going to be frustrating if he's playing 20 minutes a game. Jack Johnson is terrible. Adam Fox is okay, but he's an undersized mobile defenseman. Trouba is not an $8 million defenseman, but he should be a top 3. He's not a number 1. So you go down, and I think your analogy of are these players in the right chairs? Absolutely not. And you've got a young goalie. So you got 2 young goalies.
Yep.
And we saw last year Lundqvist got left out to dry a lot on a defense that's not much better.
Next game, we have to. I'll be honest with you. I believe right now they are one of the most disappointment teams so far, and I gave them the Stanley Cup, the Colorado.
Listen, they're not getting destroyed.
No, you don't tell me, they are 3-3, but the way they play, the way they should be 5-1.
Well, Rantanen's playing well. I don't think we're seeing the best McKinnon. I think he's trying. The one thing about McKinnon where I think he's adjusted his game over the last 3 years is he understands there's multiple speeds to his game. And it's not just all on fire. So I think he'll figure that out over the next couple games, because if he's just constantly, he's almost too fast for the game sometimes. Rantanen's awesome. What's Landeskog been doing? I'm not sure. They need production from Kadri. They do have a
formation. You expect one specific thing. They are great is on power play. Yeah. And again, yesterday's 0-4. One thing I think they need to figure out something else, because you cannot let play night after night Rantanen, Landeskog, and McKinnon 23 minutes per game.
Well, that's the other thing. Like, I don't think the bench management is great. So they have enough,
more. What I mean?
They have enough depth that they can play other guys. What's the problem?
Exactly. I know that's quick. Play 9 minutes yesterday, and then what I mean. But at the end of the day, I think they struggled about that one over there. They play 4 forward versus 5D, 2D. Mekar is on the point, and sometimes Girard and Biram play 1 minute yesterday. But again, they have a 5 minute. What
happened with Brandon Saad? The guy got under 11 minutes.
I don't know. It just surprised me to see that kind of formation. And again, it's just like, again, I am now they are 2-2, so it's not too bad, a good start for them. But again, if the Colorado should beat that kind of team, if they want to finish first, it's like I don't see consistency since the beginning of the year. I don't see great game from them. The level they was played during the playoff, and maybe they are one of the teams struggles since the beginning of the year because no exhibition game and maybe tired. I don't know exactly what the reason yet, but I expect more. Rantanen score is 5th of the year.
Yeah.
That's a good news. He considers where he left last year. But again, I think that's
So,
something they need to correct rapidly for sure.
so I'll point out one thing, which is the defense. And if you look at the defense, they've worked in Bo Byram. They got Cal McCarr, very similar players. You've got Girard, who's small and quick and smart, but it's a similar player. You got Devin Taves, who's 5'10" and a similar player. Where's Eric Johnson? So you don't have Eric Johnson on the roster right now. They traded Ian Cole, and they're trying to work in Panarin. So I think that it's going to take some time to figure that out. And then they got a rookie in Connor Timmins, who's a good, prospect and player, but he's been out for injuries for years, and he's really just getting into the NHL.
Now, so I'm going to open the door, and then you maybe don't have to answer yet, but they trade Zadorov,
right?
Brendan Saad,
right?
And Saad played only 10 minutes yesterday.
And Brandon Saad's a 25, 30 goal scorer, power winger, the man child. Like he's a monster, right? You want that guy playing a regular top 6 shift because he does things with and without the puck. And Zadorov scared the crap out of people.
So my question to you is smart now. So if you go by line, Kadri is the second line right now, and they use Kuffer and Burakovsky.
I just think, to your point before, they need to rank down the top line to about 20 minutes. You can't be playing McCarr and Taves 23, 24 minutes. I was surprised when they moved Ian Cole, Cole, and they brought in Panarin, who's fine, but I do think Cole is probably better. And I just
Zadorov,
Zadorov, as inconsistent as he is big and tough and can skate.
And then Zad, maybe Brendan Saad had maybe an injury, but still, this kid should be in the top 6 for them. So I don't know. Sometimes,
right? Like,
I'm not worried about them. You know what I mean? Like they will make the playoff, but still,
they'll make
the beginning of the year, I think
not
a little bit.
What's the deal with Eric Johnson?
He's I think he was on COVID-19.
Is he? Okay. So I think you can't remove a Cole, Johnson, and Zadorov that are big mobile defensemen that intimidate people and make room in front of your net, and think that that's gonna be the same thing with Devin Taves, Byram, Girard, and McCarr. Yep. I mean, they're mobile, but you don't play in just one direction.
Next game, Kings 6, Blues 3. And again, it's a 2-team again, one team, Kings 2-2-2. I would not expect that. And the Blues, and consistency, run great game. They look like top 10 of the league. And then the next day, remember they got destroyed 8-2, yesterday 6-3. You can see that kind of up and down for them. And I think, some point, Ryan O'Reilly scored his first goal of the year yesterday, but I think they need him more.
He'll come along. I think now that he's got that off his back, he'll start calming down and just play and won't worry about the C on his chest. I think that yesterday what you saw from the Kings is a few things. One, Jonathan Quick's still a very good goalie. Number 2, Doughty can still play and Kopitar can still play, and so can Brownie. Like, those guys can play. This is what I think.
Honest with you, Doughty play a great hockey right now since the beginning of the year. He plays solid for them. I'll be honest with you. He's playing great right now.
Yeah. And I think part of it is they have other defensemen who are maturing. Like Matt Roy is very good. Walker's pretty good. You see Mata is helping out. So he's getting a little bit of help. But I think in the end, and you see Grundstrom, what a play yesterday by Grundstrom. You see what Vince Dunn is, why Vince Dunn's a nightmare, by the way. Like, that's not an NHL play as a defenseman. What is that? Like, keep your position. But this guy never learns. He's going to be on his way out of St. Louis at some point. I don't know if you saw that goal. It was a joke. Like, Grundstrom pulled him inside out, and the defenseman's way on the boards. This is not an NHL play. It's Pee-wee. But Grundstrom made a great play and a goal. And then Kempe is playing very well. Kempe would not shoot the puck in the past. And we see yesterday, he threw a player and the goalie, he lasered it. So that's good news for them. If he becomes that 20-goal guy, that's what they expect from him. And then in the end, Pierre, this team is going to be as good as Villardi because Villardi is a monster. And I think Villardi might be right now for me, he's top 2 as far as who's going to win the Calder. Like I don't see how you hold this guy back unless he gets hurt. Because we saw this at the end of the year last year, and he's big, he's smart, he's got a rocket shot, he can play make, and he's not afraid to use his body against you. Like he's a very, very good player. He's going to be a number 1 center.
Yeah, but it's, one thing you have to remember on that game again, it was the game of the goaltender number 2, Uso in the net.
Not
again, they trade Jack Allen, and
I do not understand that deal to this day. Like they've made 3 really questionable moves. You let Pietrangelo go, you let Jake Allen go, and you sign Falk to a long-term expensive contract. I like Krug, but I mean, this is not
the salary cap make them happening right now. That's the problem they have right now is salary cap.
If they just left Krug, they had $9 million to go to Pietrangelo. You could have dumped Falk and Krug and dumped Vince Dunn. They would have been better off.
But again, their salary cap is so bad, so they struggle.
I would solve it.
But again, I think overall, good performance for Los Angeles. It's fun to see that team where, those teams where they expect low expectation, right? You don't expect high. And you see the guy like Villardi and those young men, young players step up. We didn't mention about him yesterday right now, but he scored his 3rd goal of the season the day before against the Blues. It's Kempe. Kempe had 2 assists yesterday. And
he scored 2.
That's another one there.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like Adrian Kempe, I was saying before, he's starting to shoot the puck, and that he would never shoot the puck before. And you saw that goal where he basically, I don't think it was a great play by Huso, but he pulled it in, and then he shot it through the defenseman, and it just over the glove. Like it was a great shot. If the guys can shoot like that, they got another player. The other guy I'll mention is Isaac Lunderstrom. So Isaac Lunderstrom, or is it not? What's the Elias Anderson? Elias Anderson, who came from the Rangers. Like,
yes,
that's another really underrated addition. So, and then they've got 4 goals this year from Athanasiou, so they're getting goal scoring by committee, which is what they need. But I think Villardi is going to keep getting better if he stays healthy. They're in awesome shape.
Yep, another team I predict them in the playoff. I think they're getting better and better. Is the San Jose Sharks beat yesterday the Minnesota Wild 5-3. They are 3-3 for the Sharks. Wild they are now 4-2. Good game, both team. It's fun to see. You got the Parisi 2nd of the year, Tornado is 2nd, Evander Gain is 2nd, and then you have Fiala is 2nd, and Nieto is 2nd. Brent Burns is 2nd. And it's a late goal at the end of the game make San Jose win 4-3. The Brent Burns at 18-12, and then you got an empty net from Matt Nieto. Good performance for San Jose so far.
I'll mention that Kaprizov. I don't know if you saw the goal that he set up for Parise, but it was like a breakaway behind. This guy figures out one thing. If you watch him, is amazing, and I think this is very difficult in the NHL level. He figures out how to get pucks to a guy behind the D.
Without being your comments about Villardi for the Calder, they have Kaprizov, and then you have the rest.
Well, you've also got Romanov.
Again, it's not level like Kaprizov is.
You don't think so?
Kaprizov is like one step for any other player right now. The level he played, the way he see the eyes, this kid is like.
Very good.
Again, he's not 1920, right? He came from a KHL, and he's a little bit more mature every time that. But again, I think, at that moment, he has already had 5 assists yesterday, and he's going to be a star. And see how he's going to be consistency with that team.
That'll be the thing. If he can be offensively consistent, Villardi looks like he's going to just continuously get points. And then Romanov, I don't know what's going on there. Like, are they playing him regularly? Because to me, he was like their best D.
Who?
Romanov.
Romanov for Montreal?
Yeah.
No, he's not He's in the back, in the middle of the pack over there. But I think
that's the only thing that will hold him back, I think, because he's just behind some really great
he
D.
still make mistake. You can see he make mistake, young mistake. But I think he's better at what my expectation for him. He create a lot of things, and this kid have like, I don't think he have a blood inside his body because he creates some play like you like many of them will be scared. And you're like, it's all good, don't worry about that.
Yeah, don't worry. He trusts himself.
Yeah.
He trusts skating and he trusts his puck handling against the best players in the league, and he's usually right. Now it's going to burn him once in a while, but I mean, for me, what that guy offers. Now, I think to your point, there's so many good D in Montreal that he'll kind of fit in the middle of the pack, and that might be the only thing that holds him back for the Calder. But I think those three guys are like, wow, like so
exactly. Good. The next game before we finish strong, the Nashville Predator lost again the Dallas Star. 3-2. Star won their second game of the year. They are 2-2, and then Nashville is 2-3. And you can see the depth of Dallas Star. But again, we talk about him all playoff. We never understand why. But again, Gurianov scored his second goal of the year in power play. Pavelski played the same level he played in the playoff. And, now we welcome Rupe Hans. He was one a big piece in the puzzle, I believe, against Tampa. I don't say they will win or beat Tampa, but they missed a lot, Rupe Hans at the end of the year.
This guy's a 6'4" centerman who can skate. He's willing to use his body. He has great reach. He can shoot the puck, and he can set up plays. And he plays a 200-foot game, Pierre.
Yep.
That is going to hurt you if you don't have him.
He had 6 points, Michael, in 2 games.
He's so good. And then you look at Gurianov. Has he got 3 or 2 goals now? 2 goals and an assist?
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's another big guy with talent, and he's got a nose for the net. I mean, did he lead the team on goal scoring last year?
Who?
Gurianov.
No.
He was I think he was top 2. He had 20 goals.
I don't remember about this one, but no. But again, Klemberg got his 4th assist of the year. Could have been. He's winning whatever you put him in the net.
Yeah, he had the most goals on the Dallas Stars last year.
Really?
Yes. He had 20 goals, and there was no other 20 goal scorer on that team.
Wow.
So this is what I'm saying. Like he's going to show us how good he is.
Yeah. The only thing I was said, and again, they play without, yesterday without Ben and Seguin.
Yep.
Just give you an idea how deep they are. But again, that formation is prototype of what Nashville was before with their quadruor defensemen.
This is Pavelski's team, and the kids play very well.
Yep. I agree with you. He bring
a good team.
At the end of the day, imagine what San Jose is thinking when they see him play like that.
Oh, I don't know what they're thinking because when they didn't sign him, it was very surprising. I mean, this guy was your captain. He had 38 goals with them or something, and then they don't sign him to a $5 or $6 million contract. So it's totally. I mean, we're not seeing Radulov, Seguin, and Ben being the best players on the team. We're seeing the best,
And last game of the night was very entertaining. It was a good game, honestly. The Edmonton Oilers won again the Winnipeg Jets.
I'm going to let you talk this one out, but in the end, great win in overtime. Draisaitl gets in on it. I think Edmonton's coming around, but I think Omani has the right point. Like Koskinen in net is not enough. They got to figure something out.
I agree with you about that one over there for sure. So, he scored about like a .0 once again. Leon Draisaitl at the end of the game. So I give you an idea how this works. So we know Michael just left. We're just finishing this game over there. Calder Yamamoto, who scored his 3rd of the year at 16:55 to square the goal, the score 3-3. And finally, Leon Tresol scored his third of the year about 1 second at the end of the game and gave a win to the Edmonton Oilers, their third win of the season. And it was the second loss of the Winnipeg Jets for the final score of 4-3. Very entertaining game, to be honest with you. It was 1-0 Winnipeg after one. It was 2-1 for the Edmonton. And then Winnipeg scored 2 goals at the beginning of the third. Well, at the middle of the third, at 13, the last in 2 minutes, and 13:54 and 15:07, Winnipeg came back and it was 3-2, and then finally Edmonton scored the last 2 goals, and the winner of the is Edmonton Oilers 4-3. So really entertaining, really great Sunday 11 game yesterday. And for today, for some reason, don't explain, don't tell me what's going on. I have no clue, and I'm not happy about that because I'm off tonight, and we have only one game. It's the Ottawa Senator, and that's 10 o'clock Eastern time. I don't like to watch those games at 10 o'clock. I have to go to bed at 1 o'clock. It's going to be Ottawa Senator versus the Vancouver Canucks. On the flip side, I'm going to bring you more breaking news around the league. I'm going to be live tonight to you guys around 9 o'clock p.m. I invite you to join us. Maybe Michael will be there. If not, I'll be there. You can find me all the time on the Facebook page under Hockey Nation Live Show. That's where I do all my live about the NHL on the daily, or a recording video, and I bring to you. Also, I bring all the breaking news going on around the league. When I know what's going on, I bring to you guys. Like this morning, we talk about also the fact like the game between the Tampa Bay Lightnings and the Carolina Hurricanes are postponed now. It was supposed to play tomorrow and Thursday, and the situation with Carolina over 6 players as the COVID-19. They decide to postpone that game over there. So that's another subject, but we need to figure out, we try to bring this. Another big story is coming from a Finland journal. It's an article about Patrick Laine, where they mention where Blake Wheeler and also Mark Sheffield was really do a lot of things in the back of Patrick Laine. That's a relationship we don't know. I just bring to you. I don't have no confirmation. I don't say that's right or wrong, but a lot of things going on around the league right now, and more. The subject is about Patrick Laine versus Blake Wheeler and Max Sheffield. Every time we're going to know more about that, we're going to bring to you for sure. So that's another subject we're going to see. Look like Pierre-Luc Dubois is already happy to be in Winnipeg. Now he find his dad around there, so I think it's a good move for him to be around that part over there and see what happened. We know yesterday, Austin Matthews, his upper body injury is about a hand. He has some bothered by a hand issue. We don't know exactly what happening. I don't know if it's a puck. I don't know if it's a sick he got, but he played yesterday. Also, reports Saturday Maple are looking to upgrade their forward. Joe Thornton is out for a month with a wrist injury. Now they move up. Wayne Simons scored 1 goal yesterday, and Jimmy Wilson. And we know Nick Robinson is out now. So they're looking around maybe to find something. Yesterday, Travis Dermott played only 11 minutes, and maybe one's going to be on the targeting from the Penguin Pittsburgh. We know we mentioned earlier today, Pittsburgh is looking for upgrade their defenseman. They talk maybe about Victor Mete. That's another subject. I think Mete right now he became the number 8 and 9 on the depth chart for the Montreal Canadiens. So that's another thing we need to check about this. During the weekend, we know Jack Roslovic signed a new contract right away after he got traded to the Columbus Blue Jackets, a 2-year contract at $3.8 million, a $1.9 million AAV. So that's signed up. Both players, Laine and Roslovic, and also Dubois, are right now on the COVID-19 list. Why? Because they have to shift the countries. So you have to move from USA to Canada, USA, and there's a quarantine 14 days at that moment. They try to modify that rules. They try to maybe go for 7 days, but the only thing we know right now, they are on the COVID-19 about that one over there. Again, I mentioned to you, I try to see what I can helping you about other news around this part. Let me check about one more website. A lot of news going left and right. We try to give you more information about this. I can wait to see the NHL 3-star of the weeks. We'll see. We heard only 35 minutes ago, we heard a Nashville goaltender Ingram taking leave from team. We don't know. It's a player need assistance, so we don't know exactly what happening there. Good news also, Pasternak is getting regular jersey right now for the Boston Bruins. I expect maybe him to come back this week. I would not be surprised to see him to go that part over there. We know during the weekend, sad news, the last and the pass away are two people. One on the hockey is George Armstrong, died at 90 years old. He was the last captain in 1967, won the Toronto Maple Leafs, won the last Stanley Cup. He was the captain for the team with Dave Keon, and he's always been a Mr. Legendary with the Toronto Maple Leafs, works for the team as an empen setter, did a lot of things for the Toronto. A little bit what Jean Béliveau did for the Montreal Canadiens. George Armstrong did the same thing for them. Passed away at 19 years old, and we wish a condolence for the family. And talking about something out of the hockey, but I think we have to remind him, because I don't think so. Nobody know him. He was the master of the interviewing on TV. It's Larry King. Passed away this weekend also. I think he was 86 years old. Another one lost because of COVID situation. Remember 3 weeks ago, he went to the hospital because of COVID, and then finally he passed away this weekend. So another great loss. A lot of people we lost a couple of weeks ago, and it's just sad to see that. And hopefully that situation with COVID will be better and better, and then make our life a little bit better for sure. Let me check the last thing I want to check before we go here out of the program, and I check always my sources to be sure it works, and I will let you know what's going on. Montreal Canadiens back home this week, honestly. That will be their first game since March 2020. They play in front of the crowd, but they are back home, and just want to be sure. I just want to get Arizona announced 21 minutes ago. Coyotes, we have added Matt Perry and Lee Stemniak to our hockey operation department as a director, analytic, and hockey data strategist, respectively. That's just upgrade. They are already part of their staff, but they just upgrade, and that's what's happening over there. Just try to give you more info if I heard something back left and right. We have I get a lot of things about that part over there. So that's pretty much what's going on around the league, to be honest with you. I don't see anything else. Unfortunately, we're going to miss right now. Then in 6 minutes, we're going to maybe hear some people is going to be on the waiver list. Some people maybe get back on the Texas squad, everything like that. But it's a quiet day today in the NHL. Remember, it's on the NHL announced the goaltender Connor Ingram is taking a voluntary leave to take part of the NHL player assistant program. So we wish the best for him. Maybe he has some problem personal, we don't know, but that's what's happening. Honestly, I'm still waiting for the. Who's going to be the star of the NHL, the 3-star NHL. By the way, in 1967, in January 25th, the rookie Phil Esposito scored his first NHL goal with the Chicago Blackhawks. Remember, he started his career with the Chicago Blackhawks. So I just want to bring to you. I think it's great to see that. In 1940, the Bruins trade Eddie Shore to the American for Eddie Wiseman and $5,000. If you follow me, I bring a lot different NHL flashback, I call it, about what's going on every day, about the history in NHL. Talking about the NHL, they update the schedule this morning. They have a couple of change games. If you can come to our Facebook page on the Hockey Nation Live Show, you're going to see all those information repeatedly, back to back to back. We bring you to guys, most important information about the league. And you have a couple of games between Carolina, Nashville, Florida, Carolina, Tampa Bay, Carolina, Columbus, Carolina, Florida, Tampa, and Carolina, Tampa. You can see all those. Really, right now, the Dallas Star, the Carolina Hurricanes, the Florida Panthers are the three teams right now. They are really affected by the COVID-19. Not Florida Panthers, but the situation, a lot of games they got postponed. Right now, Dallas and Florida play only 2 games so far. So it would be very interesting. But again, this is going to be struggle more for Sventain, more the season go forward. Hopefully this will be help. Hopefully this is going to stop. Hopefully it will be better for the team. It's so hard to predict who can win, because the situation 19 is changing. You see what happened with Washington Capitals, no postponed game, but they play 4 games without their best 4-star at the team. So look, this is going to be end of the show today, and it was a great to be with you guys again. Another great show Monday morning, 11 o'clock. But I just want to remind you, we have a daily show every day, Monday to Friday, around 11 o'clock Eastern time. Sometimes we start a little bit late. We are here as if we don't make any money here. We're just free. We just want to sharing what we love to do. And finally, we invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and also on the Facebook page under Hockey Nation Live Show. And we just want to remind you one more thing is tonight we have only one game in NHL. Ottawa play and Vancouver at 10 o'clock Eastern time. And we're going to be live at 9 o'clock tonight p.m. Eastern time. I'm going to give you a couple of, information around the league. So thanks again to join us today. This is your host, Coach Franchise, directly from the booth. And have an amazing, great Monday. But remember, you have greatness inside of you. Have an amazing, blessing day, friends.